This is Marketing Jam, a show featuring the brightest minds in marketing.
Let's talk about SEO quickly. This whole search engine optimization thing. People are frustrated by it, confused by it, and there are so many SEO tools out there. Free ones, subscription ones. Which one's the best? Do you ever feel like it's been this dark art, this mystic craft hidden for only certain people to understand? Well, here at Jelly, it all became clear when we started using Ahrefs. The reports we got, the clarity on site ranking, and so much more. Today, for all our clients, we provide Ahrefs reporting and use the tool to audit sites. It's the premier SEO tool that gives you the confidence you're providing top-notch reports and data to your clients. Let the only confusing thing be how the tool's name is said. Check them out at ahrefs.com. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Jam. I am thrilled and excited for our next guest here. Thank you again to the fine folks at Canada Post for making this podcast happen. If you haven't subscribed to Insight Magazine, check out the link in the description below. Without further ado, Rob, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So for those that are listening to the show, I have some tape in front of me that I was sent in the mail. You can hear that. eBay tape. Which was sent to me in a swag box from the Canadian Council of Aboriginal Business Conference. Tell me about that. What was eBay's involvement with CCAB?
I was actually keynote speaker for the CCAB conference, and it lined up really well with our values and what eBay does, and that is connect small Canadian businesses with the world. And if you think about the potential, if you're out on a reservation, especially now with COVID, you're not going to be having a whole bunch of foot traffic come through, not a lot of tourists. There's a seller I talked to last week who's out in Haida Gwaii, right in British Columbia. And he said, he usually does a lot of fishing with people, tourists come in, and he said, Rob, the fishing, nobody's coming in to go fishing, but I've been able to sell on eBay to the world. And so eBay gives any Canadian sellers, but particularly if you're First Nations, you're trying to get going, access to the world. And he said, I've been able to get a lot of galleries in the States that love my stuff. And, in the meantime, I've been able to raise enough money to put a new motor on my boat, and things are good. So, it was stories like that, but it was just connecting with that community. And as with all kind of small businesses across Canada, we want to do what we can to help them out because times are tough.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love the swag item. Very fitting, because if you're shipping stuff and selling stuff online, you need packing tape.
100%. Yeah.
Perfect.
Or anything else, like anything you're building, you need packing tape.
Perfect. Okay, so as a father of 4 children, I need to ask, Wreck-It Ralph 2 came out, which again, those that work in internet and marketing, even without kids, you need to watch it because it was an amazing personification of what would the internet look like in real life if you physically visited the internet. And a big whole kind of piece of the whole film was based around eBay and trying to find an item, steering handle on eBay. Tell me about when you saw that, what it was like for you.
Well, yeah, having 4 boys, I loved it. I think it was embarrassing for them because I kept cheering in the movie theater, cheering for eBay and all the mentions that we had. But it hit so many points, like you say about the internet. I was making fun of some stuff, but on the other hand, eBay is a fantastic place to find those really hard to find items. And this instance, it was a steering wheel that was going to allow the arcade to stay in business. And that particular game, and Wreck-It Ralph's best friend, she was able to get her game continuing on. So great story about finding those hard to find things on eBay. And it was fun. It was a fun movie. Yeah. It
was hilarious. I love the way they showed pop-ups and kind of like the dark web and just they did such a great job. And I think, it really celebrated eBay's ability to connect consumers to, those kind of like hidden secrets, those gems, those things that you only find in the back of an antique store, but also now you bring it to people's computers.
Yeah, that's one of the best. Like we've got 1.5 billion listings on eBay, right? Like we guaranteed we've got it. That hard to find car part, we got it. The refurbished item, we've got it. Whether it's new, whether it's used, and we do have more new than we used to. So now we have like 80% of the items sold on the site are actually brand new items, which a lot of people don't know that. And also
No.
a lot of the misconception in the movie, I would say, is it's all the auctions, and they were going auction. And some items are great for auction, but about 90% of what we sell is fixed price. And so that conception that you have from eBay 20 years ago, we're 25 years old now, of used kind of secondhand auction, it's still there. And for some items, it's perfect. Like in Wreck-It Ralph, the old steering wheel and the hard to find thing, that might be perfect because it's got different value for different people. But it's a trusted, safe place to go find those hard to find items. And a lot of it's brand new, a lot of it's fixed price.
Amazing. And so now with all the options, how has eBay stayed competitive in kind of a global marketplace?
That's a good question. I think it still comes down to a lot of what eBay was founded on, and that's people. And it's about connecting people. And, we celebrated our 25th birthday, 2 weeks ago on Labor Day. And the very first, I don't know if you know this, but the very first transaction on eBay, Labor Day, 25 years ago, was from Palo Alto, Silicon Valley, to a Canadian.
Oh, no way.
Canada was there with the very first transaction on eBay. A guy out in Vancouver Island bought a broken laser pointer that here Omidar is, I don't think anybody would buy this, but a really, kind of a Canadian that didn't want to pay full price for a laser pointer. He bought it. But anyway, that foundation of connecting people is, I would say, what keeps us relevant today, where we use the technology to create trust.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, can I trust this person to give me I'm going to give my money? Can I do that? And eBay finds, like, we've got an eBay money back guarantee. Yeah. That's super important, but it's all about the people, and that's key. I think the other thing that, especially if you're Canadian, eBay is a marketplace to the world. Yeah. And that's a differentiation for us. So you've got your local store, and you might have a fantastic website. But I don't care, even if you got the best website in Canada, you're reaching 36 million people. Yeah. eBay has 183 million people who actively bought in the last 12 months. So if you're sitting in Canada, you should have your store, maybe have your own website, but you sell on eBay, easy to do, and you get access to 183 million potential buyers. So that's the exciting thing to me. And we don't compete. We compete. We're competitive people for sure, but we don't compete with our sellers. We support our sellers. Yeah. We're not going to list our own inventory on the site. We want them to succeed. We do everything we can to help the seller succeed and to help the buyer find it hard to find item if they're looking for a good price. Wow.
So it just anecdotally, if I was, say, my aunt and I had this amazing doll collection, how long do you think it would take her to list, say, 5 of her dolls from start to finish? She opens up her laptop, she turns on her Dell computer, opens up Internet Explorer. How long do you think it would take? Just
our
roughly.
Goal is to get it to 2 minutes to create a listing. Wow. If she's using her app, like most people use the app now, right? So the majority of sales are actually done on the app. And using the app, there's UPC recognition. Yep. So you can scan the code at the back, and if it's a part, it'll key right up, and all the product details are there. You can set your price, you can set your shipping options.
It's amazing.
So we try and make it super simple so that somebody like your aunt, I don't want to make any assumptions about your aunt. I'm sure she's quite sophisticated and talented. Yeah. But so that anybody, my aunt, my Uncle Pat, he can sell on eBay. We want to make it super simple for them. And the trick for us is making it super simple and easy for them to list and sell, get something up and out, her doll collection. But then on the other hand, help small businesses who are a bit more sophisticated. So if you go into the site, there's the usual flow defaults you to very simple listing, get it up quick, especially if you're on the app. It's really easy to take a couple pictures. You should be up in a couple minutes. Boom, easy. And then as you progress to more and more advanced seller, we have a whole bunch of tools that retailers and small businesses can use on the site. And that's, you're matching your inventory, you're looking at pricing, you're looking at trends in the marketplace and everything else. So it's hard, but we try and support all sellers, whether it's your aunt or whether it's, huge retailers.
So basically, you're saying there's almost like a little clippy, the paper clip, or a wizard walking them through it. It's that easy just to kind of get in and walk through it.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And honestly, I spend most of my day trying to figure out how to make it easier.
That's amazing. And the way you described eBay today, it's almost like someone could go to and set up their own e-commerce platform, and it'd be like a little shack or shop they set up kind of in the middle in the prairies. Or if they go on eBay, it's like they become part of a super mall that's globally connected, and there's people from all over the globe hanging out in this mall.
100%.
Okay.
And some people say like, oh God, eBay charges its fees. Do I want to be? But that gives you access to the world. Yeah. We're doing advertising. Yeah. We're doing paid search. We're getting on Google.
Like you're making tape.
We're making tape to make.
You're in movies like Wreck-It Ralph.
Exactly. So that you can what we say, stay local, global. So you can stay at your little house in the prairie, or wherever it is in Canada that you are. Like I was talking about the guy from Haida Gwaii. Yeah. I was talking to another guy from PEI. Or like if you're up in Cape Breton. Yeah. You're not seeing a lot of traffic right now. Maybe it's actually Cape Breton right now. It's beautiful. Yeah. You've got the fall colors. Yeah. But fast forward 3 months, not so much. Yeah. But you go onto eBay and we're posting and we're getting you into the US and into the UK. And so if you look at the stats, like if you're selling on eBay, 99.7% of our sellers export. Wow. If you're a Canadian small business, on average, only 5% of them export. Yeah. Or 5.6%. So it just opens up the world for Canadian sellers, which is what you can tell I'm excited about it. But it's, it allows them to reach a much higher potential, bigger market. It's a democratization of retail. Yeah. It's no longer local, and it's pretty exciting.
And poor Ron, let's just say Ron, who's got cat sweaters out of Montreal, he sets up maybe a great looking site like WooCommerce or Shopify, all these sites that want him to kind of, set up an e-commerce platform. He becomes like Kevin Costner in Field of Dreams, right? Where he's saying, if I build it, they will come. But if you create a shop, you then have to spend thousands of dollars, whether on SEO or ads, to get people to come to that little one shop, versus you're saying, hey, we've got thousands and thousands of visitors from around the world in our mall. Join our mall.
Yeah. And be a part of that. And we help you connect you. So the mall, you end up wandering around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Totally. And our goal is to transition. So we're a marketplace. We're like the market. But I want to be a super easy. I don't want to be like the market. I love the market in Istanbul or like Marrakesh, and it's cool and it's fun. But I want it to be super easy so that it's like in Wreck-It Ralph, or you're there and you can find that. And so we use search, and we're constantly refining our search so that we can match Ron with his cat sweaters with that, that small community of cat sweater lovers in El Paso, Texas. Yeah. We've got to have those Canadian cat sweaters, but they're out there. Yeah. And we help connect the two, and that's how we use the technology to make it happen.
It's amazing. I actually went on, I will admit this story. I went on to find some Lego I grew up with in the 80s that I gave to my cousin, and I regret it now, but I love the original pirate Lego that Lego did in the early 80s. And I went on there to find it. And then I discovered there was these new Lego sets, these new pirate Lego sets that Lego had done. And so I ended up finding some, old stuff, like stuff vintage that I grew up with, and then bought some new stuff as well. So I was able to shop new and vintage at the same time.
There you go. There you go. And then you can sell it after you've used it if you want to. Although that old stuff is pretty valuable now. The old Legos.
It's very cool.
Whole community out there, and that's why I love these pockets of communities where the people are passionate about what they're selling and what they're buying, and that's what gets me excited. Like super excited, because part of the magic of eBay is I find you get passion, and you get potential, and I call it the 3 Ps: passion, potential, and people. Yeah. And the passion side of it is I talk to these sellers, and they say, I was stuck in this job. I was paying the bills, but what I was really excited about was hockey. Yeah. And then I started selling a couple things, and then I started selling a few more things on eBay. And then I had a community, and then I bought more stuff, and then I sold more stuff, and then friends came, and then this grew, and then I quit my job. Yeah. Now all I sell is hockey gear, or I sell teddy bears, or I sell, and people can follow whatever it is they're passionate about. And Legos, people make livings selling collectible Legos or Pokemon cards.
What are those bears? What were those little bears called? You know,
It's
the
fun.
bears, everyone collected those little bears. They were like little, and there was different, like, you get ones with different flags on them.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it now.
Okay.
But we
We
have
will,
that fidget spinners. Oh my
yes,
God,
yeah,
fidget
yeah,
spinners off the charts.
yeah,
Funko Pop.
yeah.
We love the Funko Pop stuff. Like there's so many different the trends, and you can find it on eBay. Right?
It's
I sound
amazing.
like a cliche, but I
No.
love that you can find it on eBay. But you can find pockets and communities of collectors that are selling this stuff and they're trading this stuff and they're buying and selling and they have fun. And life is about that, you know.
Amazing.
I want to talk about explaining leads to clients. CallRail gives you the call tracking you need to measure the success of your marketing efforts in real time. Discover how many calls you received from your Google ads, organic searches, social media efforts, and so much more. And hey, that's not the only reason we use CallRail. CallRail seamlessly integrates all of our call and conversion data with over 700 marketing tools and platforms, including Google Analytics and Salesforce, for a deeper insight into what's happening. Start telling the complete story to your clients. Try a free trial today with callrail.com.
So speaking on the flip side, the not fun side of life right now, with life and the pandemic and just business and retail just getting hit really hard. What's eBay doing just to help up those small businesses during this time of unusual circumstances?
It's a good question. We've done a ton. I'm proud of the company overall. I'm proud of my Canadian team. And I'm proud of the sellers and how I feel like between sellers and the partners that we have, we've done a ton to help Canadian small businesses. First thing we did, we helped our existing sellers out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And with the existing sellers, especially in the first few months, they were having to close their doors.
Yeah.
Cash was an issue.
Yeah.
Collecting inventory from Asia is still an issue. And so we said, you know what? At first, we did a few things. We gave them a bit of a holiday and postponed fees. You don't have to pay fees right away.
What?
So we pushed that back.
Wow.
What we also did was, this one was interesting. We got rid of, so there's kind of two fees on eBay. One, you create a listing, it's like 10 cents a month. Boom. The other thing you do is usually if you're like your aunt, you pay about 10%. We call it a final value fee.
Yeah.
So those are two things. We increased the zero and our insertion fees. We said, you know what? Let's get rid of this, 50 insertion fees. So we jacked that up to 200. We made that permanent. So we're changing our fee structures to help Canadians out. And I said, you know what? Let's not charge them a fee every month for the listing. If we should only charge if it sells. Like that is aligning incentives.
Wow.
And that's good. The other thing we did is we have standards so that if you're in good standing as a seller, and you've been selling your cat sweaters and fulfilling and sending it off on time, it gets there on time, and people say, oh, that's a sweater I ordered, very good. You're a top rated seller. But with COVID, Canada Post delays, US Post delays, Deutsche Post, like everybody's delayed. So what do we do? So we said, you know what? We got your back. We'll extend your protections, so we'll extend protections, we'll extend the estimated delivery days, one, so that buyers understand where things are going to get there more likely. And we worked with all our carriers very closely to make that happen. The other thing we did was we kept their top rated status. We're like, if something is supposed to get there in 5 days and it gets there in 2 weeks, come on, we're not going to ding you. We're not going to knock you down. So a whole bunch of things that we were able to do because we are who we are, that we can talk to Canada Post about these things for you. You couldn't necessarily do that if you were a small business, but we can do that. So we had those conversations. That's for all our existing sellers. The other thing we did for all those small businesses who weren't selling on the site yet is we stood up a whole bunch of programs. We called it Up and Running, to get them up and running online. We gave them free stores for 3 months, like a store subscription. We waived their final value fees on their first, 200 items. So a whole bunch of things financially to help them out. We created tutorials to help get them up online. And then a third thing that we did for these new retailers who had found themselves having to shut their doors is we partnered with a whole bunch of organizations that were like-minded. And we said, let's bring these programs together. And honestly, I felt like Canadian organizations, there's different ways you react to crisis, but a lot of Canadian organizations came together in crisis and said, how can we help? What can we do together? So that was how I connected with the Canadian Council of Aboriginal Business to help those types of those communities get online easily and sell. I was in seminars with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business, CFIB, partnering with them, partnering with Canada Post. I know it's a sponsor there, but in fact, I'm speaking at an event for small businesses tomorrow that they're hosting.
Nice.
We had a program that was originally called, what was it? It became, I'll think of this. Digital Main Street is what it started out as. But the concept was to take Main Street online. Huge program in Ontario. A whole bunch of partners got together and said, how can we get Main Street online? So we partnered with Shopify. There were a bunch of others. We said, okay, create this website. You aren't online. Here's a website. And there were a whole bunch of students that helped small businesses set up website. But then if you want an international marketplace, plug in eBay. Here's your international. So you got your website, you got your international marketplace. We helped a whole bunch of small businesses get set up that way. And then that led to another one called Canada United, which was sponsored by RBC. Huge day, massive weekend. And we were there at the beginning talking to them, pushing this as a partner, both thought leadership, sponsorship, etc., just to get small businesses going and, as we called it, up and running. Right. So I think that was key. So that's existing sellers, new small businesses. We also did a few things for just people that were out of, C2C, we would call it, just consumers that are selling online, because they're taking this opportunity to sell, they might be out of work and they're looking for extra income. So we had some programs for them. On the flip side, because we have two sides of our marketplace, for buyers, we pivoted. And we had a whole bunch of, we geared our whole site and our marketing efforts towards what people were going to need.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Jogging pants.
Yeah. Jogging exercise equipment was up 200% on the site.
It's huge.
Tennis rackets, cycling,
bicycles.
Bikes were sold out. Bikes were gone.
Yeah.
If you were trying to find a new bike, good luck, because the factories were all sold out. But on eBay, we've got, the whole spectrum of value. Maybe you could find some new bikes, but you also had partially used, or, you had pretty good bikes or bike parts, and you could get your bike going. So we saw sales take off on that. Electronics were great, especially a refurb where, like I said, I've got 4 boys. I'm not going to buy them all a new laptop to work from home. But if you find something, it's certified, it's refurbished, it's just as good as new, but a lower price point. They want new. You still have to convince them, no, this is great. And be quiet because you got a new laptop, so be quiet, but I can afford it. So that's good. So we helped on the buy side to get a whole bunch of stuff going to help out with that. There's just, I could keep going and going, but there's everything we did was like, how do we help Canadians? And honestly, what I love, it wasn't a question of like, oh, can we afford to do? No, you just did it. And from the very top, no, it's the right thing to do. So get out there and do it. And we're lucky that we have a website that can help. We've got a platform to give Canadians access to 183 million buyers. So we're in a unique position to really help out. And we leaned in with everything we could, oftentimes parking our fees, saying, no, just the time is right. We got to help. Get on the site. Let's go.
It's amazing. So in Canada for 20 years, globally 25. What's your advice? You've been able to have all this experience. You've seen this stuff. What's your advice to small to medium businesses just getting started on eBay today?
Just do it. Just start.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it's like I've been in retail many years, and I know how much work and how intimidating it can be. Like, I've got to talk to my suppliers, and I've got to get my marketing. I've got to do this, and I'm busy. I don't have time for the internet. Well, just do it. Like, just start. And eBay is a good place to just start because you don't have to set up your own website.
Which is amazing.
We traffic things to your list. We traffic we traffic eyeballs to your listings. For you. Just try. Just try. Whether it's on, I don't care where it is, but if you're a small business, get online and try. That's my overall advice. And that's what we found. A lot of them said, well, I've closed my doors. I guess I have to try now.
Which is great.
Yeah. The scary thing is, though, that, not scary, but if you're not online, seriously, you better be getting online. Because that's where the buyer patterns have changed. And consumer patterns have changed. And they all went online. Yes, it'll come back a little bit. People like the face-to-face, but it's not going back to the way it was before.
And speaking of which, we're seeing the trend from bricks and mortar to more online.
But what are you seeing since the pandemic, the change of just even the online patterns? How has that changed, the whole e-commerce world? Have you seen a change that, or it's just increase?
Crazy
Right.
increase, just off the
Okay.
charts.
Yeah.
So that,
And do
you
you,
know, I did, yeah, go ahead.
and do you think that will stay? Is that a pattern that's going to be forever? Do you think it will go back to where it was?
I don't think it'll go back to where it was.
Okay.
People still like the interaction, but I think, like, I talk to people, you know, my kid's hockey team. I was talking to a guy 2 nights ago, and he said,
Yeah.
you know, I'd never tried this buying online thing, but you
Yeah.
know what? It was really easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think and it's guys like him that are now
Yeah.
going to say,
First
why do
timers, right? Yeah.
I know what I want.
Yeah.
I know who stocks it. I know a fair price. Why would I take, even if it's close, that's a 15-minute, get in the car, go sit in the parking lot, go out. Why would I take, you know, 15 minutes there, 10 minutes in the store, 15 minutes back,
Yeah.
when all I need to do is just look on eBay or look online, and it'll be here. You know, maybe I have to wait a few days. Like eBay, most sellers on eBay can hit retail standards. You know, like we can have it there in 2-3 days.
It's amazing.
So why, you know, most things I don't need overnight. But so why don't I just do that? So I think the consumer behavior has 100% consumer behavior has changed.
Amazing. So besides going to e-commerce and getting online, you know, strengthening their kind of omnipresence, both having bricks and mortar, omni-channel, like both worlds, right? And strengthening that world. What else should small to medium businesses do to kind of stay strong and to stay healthy during this next season?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's looking at what the trends are going to be, right? And thinking about that. But that's any small business has to be able to pivot. And I think Canadian small businesses are amazing at pivoting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them did. We had a lot that were selling electronics, and then suddenly they're selling face masks. And well, maybe not the electronics manufacturers, but I know far too many breweries that switched over to making hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're going back to the brewery side of things. But so keep pivoting, because I think this world is topsy-turvy, and I think the nimble businesses that are able to look and see what those trends are going to do really well. And if you have multiple channels, as you said, so your store is great, it gives you that feedback with the customer, it's good. Your own website is good. A global marketplace like eBay is good, because then if one of them, the leg gets kicked out for some reason, you've got other legs to stand on, and you aren't out of business, right?
That's great. Any other advice to entrepreneurs or small business owners that you'd want to pass on?
You know, another one that we see in our community is, and we do a lot to try and encourage it, is to reach out to other groups. Small business is tough, and you're out there and you're fighting the fight on your own. And we've set up little groups, we call them meetups, and just to share ideas. You know what I mean? Like, I can swap ideas with other eBay companies and that kind of stuff. But if you're a small business and you're out there in Cape Breton, especially now, you can do it virtually. You don't have to travel and to Halifax or anything like that. But you can just come together virtually and say, well, what worked for you? Or, well, how do you deal with customs? And oh, well, where are your big traffic? Well, what kind of rate did you get with Canada Post? You know, and you can work this kind of stuff out. And so that's my other advice to small businesses, is don't be afraid to work together and cooperate.
Help me understand Canada Post's role in the operation of eBay, both from the buyer's perspective and kind of your involvement in that world.
Sure. So we work really closely with Canada Post during the coronavirus. They were honestly, with all their challenges, but they were great partners because they would keep us updated on, okay, this international corridor, we had to shut it down, or there's a 2-week delay in here, or across Canada, like this is the delays that we're facing here. So that just lines of communication and partnership. By them letting us know, we could let our sellers and buyers know, and we could change expectations on the site so that would calm everybody down. Like, well, your package will take longer because of Canada Post delays. Fair enough, tough times, but we were able to communicate that then to our sellers and our buyers, which I think was really important.
Incredible.
When there were so many unknowns, that was fantastic partnership. Other 2 areas that we work with them on. One is kind of, what's the next generation going to look like? What do our customers want? Like I represent eBay, like how can we help them and small businesses. So eBay goes in speaking on behalf of Canadian small businesses and says, well, we need more tracking at a lower price point. So we do a lot in trading cards, for instance. And so I'm pushing them right now to say, if we can get tracking, like it's a trading card, it should be postal, like just an envelope, but it's a good trading card. It's not great, but say they sold it for $10 on eBay.
Yeah.
Decent price for a card.
Yeah.
But if you want to track that, it'll cost you $10 to ship it.
Wow.
So now you're a seller or you're like, what are
Yeah.
the economics on that? And so I'm working with Canada Post to change that. But also in terms of representing small businesses, when they had their strike, we were able to come to the table and we brought data to the table and we said, guys, like you're striking right now, going into Black Friday, on behalf of small businesses across Canada, this is the impact that you are going to have. And so I think the data and the conversations that eBay was able to have with different politicians just was able to help small business in Canada, was able to help, get them around the strike so that they could open up, and all those small businesses that depend on Canada Post and depend on the Cyber Week / Black Friday, all those sales, were able to keep going. So that was an important element in a different way that we, I don't know if you call that working with Canada Post or against Canada, but we represent small businesses when we talk to them or the government, and honestly, we fight hard for small businesses across Canada. So that's another way. And then the third way would be, we fight for rates. We fight for, it's a partnership, but we're fighting for our sellers to get them the best rates possible, because the better rates we can have, then the better deal it is, and the better it is for consumers. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So Black Friday's coming up. What do you think is going to be the difference between this year and last year's Black Friday? I think same thing, increase, more?
It'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to get more and more spaced out. I think it's going to be even more online, obviously.
Okay.
Depending upon what happens, I know numbers are rising again. So if there's another wave and stores get shut, obviously everything's going to shift to e-commerce again. Like it did with the first wave. Honestly, it hasn't really come down. Like I said it before, our numbers shot up.
Yeah.
And then it came down a little bit, but the numbers have been well above what they were before for e-commerce. And I think that shift, you will see it manifest itself this year for sure, because buyer behavior has changed.
Wow. So if you're looking for the easiest, quickest, simplest way to get online, ebay.com is the place to go. Download the app.
Or .ca. Or .com.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Thank you.
Just get online, get on eBay, or the French site too. We've got a French site for Quebec.
Or download the app. They can download the app and walk through that way. Put 1 or 2 items on there. Try it. Try one item. Or if you are an established company and maybe you've got an e-commerce thing going, but you want to increase your global export market, get on eBay. Try it. Try it with a couple items and see what an international mall is like to put your items on.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I give you access. 183 million buyers waiting for you.
Wow.
Right?
This is incredible. That's incredible. Wow. Thank you for being on the show. This has meant a lot. I grew up going on eBay, bidding on eBay ever since, I turned 20 when you guys launched here in Canada. It was really exciting. So thank you for your support in so many incredible ways to small businesses right across the country. And it means a lot. And I think you guys are a huge contributing factor to the health of retail in Canada.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Get the word out.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for joining us this week on Marketing Jam. Really loved having you here. This was, I think, eye-opening for me, really inspiring, really educational. So check out ebay.ca or the French site and give it a try. And maybe you haven't been on there in a while, but give it a try. You're going to find a lot more than just old steering wheels for old arcade games. And you may just find something that you're looking for that's both new or vintage. All right. See you next week on Marketing Jam.